I'm Brad Sellers. I'm the acting marshal for the Western District of Virginia. As you guys are aware, we've been involved with Franklin County, many of our state and local partners, including the ones behind me here, looking for Mr. Brown. We started it upon notification from Franklin County of the homicide and assistance with that. From that point, we're getting a lot of media attention, calls on a daily basis. I want to be up front with you. Those over the last couple of days become unmanageable, trying to constantly put out information. There has been no sighting of Mr. Brown since the discovery of the RV. Not in our district, not in another state. So we don't have a confirmed sighting. What the media has been covering is a whole lot of us following through leads. Obviously, we appreciate the public providing us information. As we saw yesterday, there was the media report of a weapon and us being at a house. There was no criminal activity involved with that. It was suspicious activity. We simply ran that through. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to search areas in which there is a sighting or suspicious activity, along with our state and local and federal partners. So as you see that, that's not an indication that that's the only thing that's happening. We're working through leads. We've roughly had 280 leads, investigative actions since our involvement in this case. Most of those is focused in the area after the discovery of the RV. We're going to continue to run down leads, whether they're in this district or another area. I know the media was asking for that. I also wanted to appreciate the public for calling in. I would ask the public if they see something. I think Chief Jones had mentioned that. If you see something, say something. What I would add to it is timely. We're getting tips that are coming in of, yesterday I might have saw him at the gas station. Or a couple days ago, my wife may have seen this individual on the interstate. We need more rapid calls into our law enforcement partners, into our tip line, to try to get that information to us in a quicker manner. It's hard to chase down a lead, especially when it's become 24, 48 hours old. So I would ask about that. I would also caution the public about making false reports. That's criminal violation if you're calling in sightings, if you're calling in information saying you have information about this case, it turns out to be in fact not the truth, waste a lot of resources. Secondarily, anyone that's harboring Mr. Brown, whether it's here or anywhere else, again, can be exposing themselves to a criminal violation. Mr. Brown's a fugitive, should be well known to those that may come across him, may have that type of interaction with them. So I would caution anyone not to be doing that as well. The $10,000 reward remains out there. We're still looking for that vital piece of information. I have no doubt that one missing link is out there. We simply need the right person to call in a timely manner and provide that to us. With that, that's kind of how we're at in the investigation. I know the media was looking for kind of what's happening. I hope that's a brief summary. Again, I wished I could tell you that we had a confirmed sighting. We don't. We'll continue to work through leads in this district and every other district that they come into. With that, I'll take a few questions.
My question is on the tips. So if the tips are concerning enough for you to warrant searches in the areas, why aren't the public in those areas given advance notice about the searches before? I mean, sometimes they're not warned until hours after.
Well, I guess the easiest way for me to first say is there's no way to provide them advance notice. When we get the call that comes in, or if the call comes into our state and local partners that comes into the tip line, we're simply going out to investigate that. Obviously, there's a large volume of law enforcement presence that's looking at that, but there's no way to give them an advance notice. Secondarily, we don't know what's going to be factual when we receive that call. If somebody says, I think I saw somebody with a hoodie on, we're going to treat it just like our law enforcement partners as potential that it could have something to do with Mr. Brown. We don't know that until we check it out.
Are you worried about also potentially tipping off Michael Brown that you might know where he is?
I will say this, the day and age of social media, everyone is tracking what's happening with this case continuously. That's different than it had been in the past. Yeah, I'm fearful that if we go into a wooded area looking for what may be a possible sighting of Mr. Brown, and the public and the media start gathering in that area just because he was in one area hours before, if in fact that turned out to be him, he may be in that area that people are gathering at. He may see what's happening and move on. So yeah, I'm concerned about that. But it also puts us in a difficult position of media and the public wants answers. to things we haven't completely fleshed out. We need time to do our investigative efforts and then provide that type of information when we can.
So I know that the schools were sending out robocalls, and I don't know if it's possible to do this in this situation, but a robocall, or maybe like, you know, how we get cell phone alerts for amber or silver alerts, is that an option?
If we did that, we would be doing that constantly. Again, we're working some of the leads. I know our state and local partners are getting a ton of tips that come in. Again, anything that looks like Mr. Brown is getting reported as being associated with Mr. Brown. So an individual seen on the train tracks walking with what's believed to be a rifle turns into Mr. Brown. There's a lot of, and I don't want to speak for my state and local partners, but they get suspicious calls every single day that they're divesting resources to. So to put out a robocall telling the public we're looking at something, my state and local partners are doing that every single day of their job. So I don't think that's reasonable to expect.
Do you think someone is harboring Michael Brown, or that someone's helping him?
I don't know.
I take a question from the other media.
I don't know if anyone's harboring, but I do want that person, if that in fact is happening, to know that they're potentially going to face criminal charges because of that.
Acting Marshal Sellers, I'm Jeff Sturgeon with the Roanoke Times. I haven't covered this story from the beginning. Could you describe the last confirmed sighting of this man?
I'll say it this way. The last confirmed information that we're operating off of, an RV associated with him, was found in the city last Thursday.
Can you talk about any reported tip or sighting off of Poteet Road in Hardy today? A woman apparently was sleeping, woke up, and says she saw Brown in her kitchen.
I don't. I'm sure the investigative team is looking at all those leads and will have that, but I can't confirm it. And again, there's been a plethora of potential Michael Brown sightings. This one could be valid. It may not be. I don't know yet.
When was the last confirmed sighting?
Question.
The last confirmed information is the RV being here in Roanoke.
Brad, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Can you provide an update on the rifle that was found yesterday?
There's no criminal involvement in that incident, so I'm not going to speak about it. It's not associated with Mr. Brown. The parties have been talked to. There's no criminal activity there.
All right, we're good. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. What for you guys, we had talked about that. I know the release came out about daily briefings. I'm not going to come out here every day and tell you there's no new information. Let us do our job. We understand the balance between the public and the media and try to make sure that they're as informed as possible for their safety. I would ask you guys, just let us do our job. Okay, we'll work through this and we'll give you as much information when we can. All right?
How will you announce it if you find him?
Oh, I guarantee there'll be a press conference when that day comes.
Okay.
But Franklin County will be likely setting all that up. Since they've got the homicide investigation, Franklin County will take the lead when it comes to that time.
So it'd likely be down in Franklin?
Or wherever the individual's caught. But my intent, from my perspective, will be to let Franklin County deal with that in any other jurisdictions that Franklin County deems necessary.
All right, thank you, folks. Appreciate it.